Well, I want to welcome everybody. Thank you guys for being on time and established Zilis team members, as well as our guests who we are just meeting for the first time. We are doing something really special tonight. We are launching 5 weeks of group coaching. And myself, Lisa Bell Henson, and my colleague, Marcia Smith, BSN RN, and nurse coach board certified. This girl is so smart. She's a holistic nurse. She's a health coach and a cannabinoid consultant with over 34 years of ICU, home care, and nursing experience. She is the founder of Marcia Smith Coaching and Consulting and works at a holistic wellness clinic where she offers adult mindfulness education, one-on-one coaching, and access to Zilis premium supplements to reduce stress, to improve sleep, and support lasting whole health changes, which is what we're all about. So I'm super excited. I'm not going to waste a moment. I'm so excited, Marsha, to be partnering with you through our BFit initiative. So with no further ado, please join me in welcoming Marcia Smith, amazing, from Buffalo, New York.
Really from Iowa, but we're going to go Iowa and then Buffalo. No.
Iowa by way of Buffalo, or Buffalo
Yeah,
by way of Iowa.
something like that.
It's all yours, Marsha.
Okay, so thanks to everyone for being here. It's super exciting. And this is obviously my first time to do one of these for everyone. So I'm trying not to be nervous. And I'm going to be doing a little reading. So if I'm looking down, that's what I'm doing. So I just wanted to point that out because that's where my comfort level is right now. And it's all good because we're all here to learn and move forward and grow. And definitely that's been happening since I've been a part of Zilis since 2023. So I retired in 2021, but I didn't want to be at home doing nothing. So I recreated myself in the holistic line of health, which has always been a passion of mine, fitness and health and wellness. And so I've just been growing it now over the past 4 years, joined Zilis, became a consumer first, and then increased myself into the business building side of things. Met Lisa. That's how I learned about this company. I probably would have never known anything about it. We crossed paths because of nurse coaching. So that's how I got here. And I am so grateful for Lisa for her leadership and her integrity and always coming up with new innovative ideas to get everybody together and to help them grow and become the best that they can be. And so we're working on this project together because of our backgrounds, but also for our love for fitness and to help people. And I think that we've come to the point where this is our true purpose, that, if we can just keep people healthy and out of those statistics that are pretty ugly, then we're doing a great job. So who's ready to reset your routine and redefine your results? That's why we're here tonight, to talk about BFit and this challenge of committing in a whole health model and coming to these group workshops. And just a little disclaimer that none of what we're talking about is intended to treat, diagnose, or mitigate illness, but it's just an information presented because we want people to know how to support the structure and function of the human body. And there is a lot of educational gaps out there, and that's what we're trying to improve upon. So some of these slides you may have seen in other presentations, but I think it's important to talk about Zilis because that's why we're here. And their mission is to empower people and empower communities and their logo is wellness, purpose, and connection. And you can see it's a circle. That means the pillars are intertwined. We can't really separate those things because each one affects one of the other. And that's really what whole health is. And what we hope that we're going to strive to teach you, to use the tool of a whole health model with the BFit to gain access to all of your goals, whatever they are in your own personal lives. So what type of commitment to health and fitness would you make if you had access to a product that was convenient? You had to take it only once a day. There was no needles. It was portable, doesn't require refrigeration, is 100% plant-based and backed by science, cost about $3.30 a day, and is pretty tasty and has proven results. Perhaps you would consider doing a 90-day challenge just to see what the heck this is all about. But more importantly is, why do we need these kinds of supportive tools? And unfortunately, we have statistics like this, and that's why we need support of others and support of tools to help us. Because change is difficult. It's difficult for everyone, but it's incredibly difficult for people that are in these categories where they're overweight and obese, and I don't really think they get proper education and access to tools from westernized medicine. So unless you have a very perfect special kind of provider that you work with. So this is an adjunct to working with your provider, of course, is to know about these kinds of things so you can share your knowledge with them, because we want to reduce these numbers. We don't want 50% of adults trying to lose weight, more than 5 times a year and not having success. It's like, why is that? 61% of them will start a physical fitness, some type of behavior change, but fewer than half follow through and are consistent. And one thing that kind of caught my eye about this slide was that 20% of people do use some kind of weight loss supplement or tool. And so, but what kind are they using? And could they have one that works better? There's just a lot of struggling and suffering out there. And when you look at that one little fact there, that in 15 minutes a day of moderate activity, you can improve your mood and reduce your anxiety and improve your cardiopulmonary health, your heart and lungs. It's like, why aren't more people doing that? Where's the gap? What do we have to do to, help people get through this? And, there's so much more going on in the inside of the human body that we can't tell by just looking at the number on the scale. And that's the other thing I would like to really strongly have people consider, is because some people are better at being aware of the things that their body is telling them, and some people are not. They completely ignore their low energy, their brain fog, their stiff and discomfortable joints, the inability to sleep. When they eat, they don't feel good. It's like, well, when we eat, we should feel good. We should have energy. So all of these things together, to me, is just showing that there's an underlying problem. Like we're only seeing weight as the tip of the iceberg, but underneath we have a lot of other things that we need to work on. And so this overweight and obesity crisis is scary, because it will lead to numerous health problems. It's a fact. Type 2 diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, stroke, certain cancers, fatty liver disease, sleep apnea, osteoarthritis, kidney diseases, gastric reflux, and it's going to mess with your mental health as well. So a lot of these things are silent until it's too late, and then it's even a harder hill to climb to reverse these things. So this is why we want to educate and put tools in the hands of people so they learn how to be fit and be well in a whole health way. So some of you might know this person, but don't give it away. This is Angie. This is a picture of her around 2023, maybe 2024. And she has a very kind of like everyday story like the rest of us do, right? We all are faced with challenges. And at this time in her life, she was under an enormous amount of stress, personally and professionally, trying to be a mom, trying to be a wife, trying to be someone that co-owned a business. And she was recovering from a pretty traumatic health injury. And she would recall this time as being like one of the lowest times of her health and fitness. She used to be, I believe, like a D1 volleyball player. So, over time and with just things in life happening, there was a sense of loss of control over herself. But look at now, 2025, we have some awesome transformation, and I'm sure if you could have a conversation with her, she would tell you it was not easy. But our goal tonight is to really inspire you to look at what anybody can do, right? And there's always some kind of tool to help you and a way to go forward and help your health. And there's so many things that are reversible, which is another really important thing to know. So let's look at a little closer about how she took this transformation. So this is a slide that actually Lisa had in one of her presentations, and it's the whole health wellness wheel. And if we look at ourselves and our health in this wheel, we can see that there's multiple parts, but in the center is our highest self. And that's what we're trying to get to and get towards. And it is a journey. It's not an overnight success. No one's going to do this overnight, but it is a journey to get to our highest self and to know our purpose and to have the utmost top vibration in life and energy, which is love, right? So, and we got to love ourselves. So this is all incorporated together. And that's this is kind of where Angie started. And this is where we're offering people to know about, so you can be inspired to make these same kind of changes. But it was a choice and it was a decision. And like I said before, it wasn't easy. So I don't know if y'all have a piece of paper, but what I'd like you to do is just jot down your number one health and fitness goal. Just whatever comes to mind, like maybe one of the first things. This form is actually available on Team Unlimited Facebook page. I hope someone saw it there. We loaded it the other day, and I think it's a PDF, so you can retrieve it. You can use this, to help be accountable to the people that you're talking to and enrolling. But it kind of breaks down this train of thinking. Is like, well, what is my goal? And then what are some steps that I can take? So these areas that were in the wheel just broken down, and we're not expecting everybody to do all of them. Like, you take one, and then you make a plan. You make a little short, small plan, and you carry it out. And I don't know if people are familiar with this term, but SMART goals. So they're specific, they're measurable, they're attainable, they're realistic, and they're timed. And that's what the acronym SMART stands for. So for example, like for movement, it could be something like, I will walk 10 minutes around my neighborhood 3 times a week for the next 2 weeks. And then when you get to that 2-week point, you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. I think next week I can do it 5 times or whatever. So you change it. You didn't like to walk. Maybe you want to ride your bike instead. It doesn't matter. The idea is that you are making small little plans and you're carrying them out, and that will build confidence. And then lastly the last question is, what is your biggest why? Like, what's your desire? Why do you want to be healthier and more fit? I mean, I had someone say once, because I want to be able to get on the floor with my grandchildren and play with them and be able to get back up by myself, and I don't have to call for help. So those are all attainable goals. So let's talk a little bit about some of the choices Angie made for herself in her transformation of action. So the picture on the left is her with her team at her business. And, she realized that she has certain strengths, but other people have strengths that she doesn't necessarily have. So she surrounded herself with people that can support her. Oh my gosh, something just exploded. Anyways, so she surrounds herself with a well-rounded team. They have a lot of fun together, and they work for a common goal. On the right, she, for her physical pillar of her whole health wheel, she decided to, hire a trainer and work with a trainer for a while. And then she branches off and she can now go outside and do things and carry out movement without, you know, having that trainer by her side. So she's learned foundational things and she's taking it to the next step. And she even wears this weighted vest, which I haven't tried that yet, but if anybody has, I'd love to know how hard it is. She also fuels her spirit and her mental health with a lot of reading. And you can see the titles there. And for her body and fuel, she's kind of reinventing herself in the kitchen, picking healthier food, colorful food, learning how to cook the Mediterranean diet for herself and for her kids. So I hope you're kind of seeing a theme here where change is hard. Change takes baby steps, and it's okay to enlist other support, your friends, your family, your Zilis family, your, you know, a buddy, someone that you can, will keep you accountable. You know, kind of change the way you stock your kitchen. Maybe stop buying the Oreos and pick something else up from the produce aisle and learn how to, you know, find a new recipe. It's very important to like set dates. I think that gives you power because then you can see it happening over time. But the idea as well is that we don't have to have perfection, because if you strive for perfection, then most likely you're going to feel like you're failing because perfection is impossible. So we want you to think about committing to 90 days of imperfection. I'm just going to try something. I'm going to do it. I'm going to eat different. I'm going to move more. I'm going to balance my checkbook more often. I'm going to, you know, set a budget, like whatever it is that you feel will enhance your well-being. So remember the question, what if there was a tool to help you? Well, there is a tool, and that's really what pulled us here tonight, because we are all involved with Zilis in one way, shape, or form, or maybe on this call because you would like to be. And even Angie has used the BFit in her very strong foundational thing that she's been working on, journey that she's been working on over 2 years. So there's always new things to do and use and learn. And fortunately, we have this awesome product. And this didn't come overnight either. This has been a collaboration with the team at Zilis in order to get this product on the market. Obviously, safety and science are the key, and they wanted to serve a purpose, and that was to help this overweight obesity crisis that we're having in the United States and globally. And you know, if you can kind of get control of that, then you're also helping to get control of all of those silent things that might be happening in your body. So again, they don't outsource their product development. It's done in-house with their medical advisory board, their corporate team. And in this particular case, this Dr. Blair, because he's a nutritional scientist specialist with BCP, and that's one of the ingredients in this product, which we'll touch on in a little bit. So just a note is that all of Zilis's products are scientifically formulated and backed, and they have exceptional technology that increases the ability for it to absorb in your bloodstream and stay in there. And that's what this little graph in the lower left-hand corner is showing, is that when you take these products, they get in your system, they're dispersed, and they stay there, and they're working over time. In the center, the little diagram is the endocannabinoid system. And Zilis's mission is also to help develop products that is going to enhance this system, because this endocannabinoid system is really what is the master regulator of all of our bodily functions. And you can, hopefully it's not too small, but you can see that it's brain, lungs, cardiovascular, all your organs, your skin, your tissue, your central nervous system. And these receptors, or these little, if you can think about them as little dots, are throughout our body. And they need fuel. And when we supplement with these products, it provides fuel for these receptors to open up and unlock and carry on the activities that they're meant to do. And especially like with BFit, part of what is happening is that they're unlocking these receptors that are jumpstarting your metabolism. So again, this is a groundbreaking product. It works over time, not overnight. Some people, testimonials, they're saying, you know, very quickly seeing results, maybe not necessarily on the scale, but inches lost. Maybe it's mood, maybe it's energy, maybe their joints don't hurt as much, maybe it's a combination, but it is, again, an overtime commitment. And that's what we're looking for people to consider at least 90 days. Just for example, like I've been taking it, I don't know, so probably 5 going on 6 weeks. And I haven't had like a gigantuous weight loss, down a couple pounds, but I noticed inches lost through my whole person. So, you know, I guess on the thinner side. I try, but again, it's still forcing me to look at the whole health model. And you hydrate better. You make sure you're getting your steps in. You're being more mindful when you eat. I see Andrea taking up her water glass right now. Hey, okay. So this is, some of you may have seen this picture before, but this is the test group that took BFit prior to it being launched in early June. And these are normal people just like us who, didn't have anything to lose except for to get healthier and maybe lose some weight and some inches and feel better and have more energy. And it's definitely been happening. They also made conscious efforts to make changes in their diet, like eliminate gluten or eliminate complex sugars and eat some less carbs, move more. And also one really important thing in this plan is to try to decrease your eating window is what they call it. So we want to consume our calories between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. So our bodies have time to use all that energy appropriately, reset, recharge. And so we're not like eating late at night, which we really shouldn't do. Anyways, so they're all still taking the product. They're still all having really grand success. And I just have one other shot of the one gal that was in the corner, but she said this is April to July was 2 months, but I think that's more like 3. That might be my bad math in my head. But anyways, the point is you can see transformation and it's awakened her to, look at her food differently. Like she has more energy, she's burning more calories because it's causing her to have better endurance to do activities. It's just all around a really great product. Okay. So the key points about the product is that it is backed by nature and science, and it's complete. They've very carefully combined these 6 ingredients to work synergistically together. And because of that, it is really enhancing people's metabolic rate, which means we eat our food and that's their calories or grams. We know we always count our carbs and our grams and etc. But when it's broken back down, it turns into energy, and we have to have our metabolism has to be running in order for us to use the energy. If we don't metabolize it, then it gets stored in places where we don't want it to store, like primarily around the abdomen area. So it's great because it's convenient. It comes in this box. It's in these little sticks. So all you have to do is take one a day, and you would take it under your tongue or in a little bit of water 30 minutes before you take your first meal. And You can experiment as well. Some people are dividing the little pack AM and maybe late afternoon just to kind of give a little more coverage through their dinner hour. And that seems to be working for a lot of people. So the cool thing about all of supplements is that you can kind of tweak it to meet your own needs. So just real quick, we'll go through some of the ingredients. So berberine is considered the master metabolic switch. It really is improving the capability of insulin to take up what's broken down into sugar and put it where it's supposed to go so it doesn't get stored as excess fat in our bodies. And it's boosting fat metabolism as well. Beta-caryophyllene is from the plant terpene, which is really what gives plants their flavor. And this is, I think, black peppercorns here. But it's activating those receptors that we were talking about in the endocannabinoid system to help keep the brain calm. So even though it's calming the brain, it's ramping up the our metabolism. It's helping to control cravings and hunger. It's anti-inflammatory, and it really is supporting brain health because it's working with those CB2 receptors in our brain in the endocannabinoid system. Fenugreek is what I've heard called the calm voice, and it really helps support balance of hormones. So as we eat and our gut sends signals to our brain releases hormones, and back and forth they're communicating to each other all the time. And so this is helping to regulate our hormones. So it's telling our brains that I feel full and I don't need any more of that. But at the same time, it's helping to burn metabolism or burn fat. So you can see that they all have very crossover components, which is really fascinating that they put these all together. Inulin is a prebiotic fiber, which means when you put that in your gut, your healthy gut bacteria are loving life because that's what they're looking for to eat. And when they're fed, they multiply. And so then you get a healthier gut. And then you have that increased healthy communication between your gut and your brain. So it's sending the right signals. I'm full. I don't need to eat anymore. My blood sugar is stable. It tells the insulin that you go ahead and do your job. We're going to be done here. We don't need any more. We don't need any more food. And this one I can't even say, so I'm not going to try. So we call it OEA. It is a natural lipid or a fat that is actually can be consumed in food. So they've put it in this product, and one of its main things is to tell you that it's an appetite suppressant. It's, again, sending the signals that to your brain to release the hormones that say, I'm full and I don't need any more. Nothing else needs to come in today. And then psyllium husk is a fiber. It absorbs water in our digestive tract. So that's why you really want to drink a lot of water when you're taking BFit. It's going to help keep you regulated with your bowels. It's going to keep your GI tract clean so it can actually absorb nutrients better. And back also to just having a healthier gut. When our gut is healthy and we have the right bacteria, it is going to allow proper nutrient absorption. So all of these things work together, and I think it's fascinating because I love the science behind this. So most of you know how to gain access to the product, but I hope what you're feeling is some inspiration and some hope that you can go out and talk to your friends or your family or your coworkers and say, there really is a product out there. I'm going to use it. I have inspiration and hope. And would you consider doing the same thing and having this challenge? So there's 4 options to gain access to Zilis and the products. And we're just talking about the BFit product tonight. But obviously, if you come in at gold, that is your best value. It is the best way if you're interested in being a distributor, or if you just know 11 people that you can sell it to for the best price. And you also get 2 of those little packs there. They're kind of hard to see, but those are shareable products that you can try yourself or share it with people that you know. And then you go down the line, you get less for less dollar. And then the VIP one here at the end is 1 box you would get with your delivery for $99. And no matter which option you pick, you're buying into wholesale prices for 1 year, delivery to your address. You can get on a monthly auto shipment, so you don't have to worry about running out. You get some what's called star point accrual based on how much you are ordering, and that can be redeemed for more products. There's no long-term contracts. You're never locked into one product. If you don't like BFit, but you like the mission and the goal, and you like something else that you might have tried in these little packets, then you can order that. You have access to what's called the Zilis cloud, where you can control your own account. You can order and adjust anything you want back there. And you have access to a support team that is very friendly and very helpful. And they've helped me numerous times, and they will answer you either with email or by phone call. So again, I don't know if some people know this, but if you like to this idea of being a distributor and growing a franchise and having your own little side gig, that's also a very good thing to have when you file taxes at the end of the year. So if you are a W-2 employee and you have a side home-based business, it is very tax savvy. Okay. So they also have this promotion going on that if you are in a VIP enrolled customer and you find 3 people that are willing to enroll under you, you can get $100 credit and you pay no annual fee. So that's basically like $150 back in your pocket by talking to 3 people and getting them to sign up. And obviously, whoever brought you here to the call would help you, with these things that you have to do to get someone enrolled. So don't think you have to go learn it all by yourself. All righty. So the Zilis platform offers you really everything you need to become successful. They spare no cost to offer support as a brand partner with their products, services, their manufacturing, the distribution, the compensation. And I think one of my favorite parts is the strategic partner, where you have access to training on a weekly basis on set days. They are there to help you grow as a person and professionally if you want to be a business person. But what Lisa and I and whoever invited you here today, I mean, we're looking for people to join the tribes that has focus, ambition, and the willingness to learn and want to grow and, maybe help others and help yourself at the same time. And you can come in at any of those 4 options, and there's always, if you wanted to change that at any point, you can always change that. Like if you came in at VIP, you can always change and go to a business builder if you wanted. I mentioned that you have access to the resources in the back office, and especially with this BFit product, they have made this really nice BFit plan that you can download or just print it out if you want. But there's recipes, there's way to look at your diet, there's more education about just the eating window, the science behind all the ingredients. And you could do your own personal challenge. There was a challenge going on, but I think that has ended. But the goal here is when you make a commitment, you are making a personal challenge. So you can follow these same guidelines and take your measurements and watch, make your own plan, take a journal, whatever you need to do to keep yourself on track. So I think it's clear that Zilis, there's an incredible amount of support and positivity and commitment and professionalism. And you really never feel alone or isolated as a customer or a business builder. And we really hope that you're considered being a part of our tribe and making helpful impacts for yourself and perhaps people that you know, your loved ones. And so lastly, I wanted to say that it was an honor. A few weeks ago, I actually got to meet the owner and the CEO of Zilis. And I can say that she is not afraid to get right out in the trenches with everyone in this business. And she leads with grace and dignity and integrity. And I don't know if you saw this coming, but Angie is the owner and the founder and the CEO. And she's actually, you know, doing what she's telling us all to get out there and do, which is she definitely leads by example. So I think that's fascinating that you don't get that in every company. And we're truly grateful for her and this exceptional tool that she's offered to all of us to get out there and build health and wellness and promotion. Because like I said, if I wouldn't have crossed paths with Lisa, I would have known, you know, this was something I was looking for, and I didn't know it was going to come to me on the day it did. So that is awesome. So if you still have your paper, I just want you to consider these 3 questions and rate yourself on a scale from 0 to 10. 10 is 100. 10 would be 100%. You're right. Like the answer is 100%. So how much do you desire a health and fitness change? Just give yourself a numerical answer. And how ready are you to take action to change? And how confident are you that with support, with BFit and any other kind of support that you want, that you can meet your goals? Okay, now I need to see, just by a show of hands, did anybody score themselves 7 or higher? Anyone? Yes, I see one person, 7. Andrea did. If anybody can come off and mute and just say you scored yourself 7 or higher.
I did.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. There's
Yes.
other yeses out there. Good. Okay.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yes.
Oh, that's perfect, because I don't know if you know this, but research has shown that when we are asked these questions and we rate ourselves higher than a 7, you are already primed. Your mindset is primed for behavior change. So congratulations.
Sure.
And, you know, some people, if they didn't rate themselves a 7 or higher, and that's when you can be accountable to them and like, well, what would it take for you to get to a 7? Like, how can I help you? What do I need to do? And maybe it's, you know, I don't really understand how to cook better for myself or read labels or whatever. So then, yeah, you reach out for help and you keep taking those small actions. Alrighty. So I think we're getting to the end. So if whoever invited you, if you need additional guidance or support, you can always reach out to us if we haven't reached out to you, because we're here for you. And if you need help, like understanding the back office and looking at all the different products or your auto shipment or whatever, like, please don't hesitate. And if you're enrolled, then please come back in the next 4 weeks, because next week, we're going to talk about proper fuel for your journey, your whole health journey. And so I think that if you're a 7 or higher, you're starting now, you're starting strong, and you're starting with us. And that's awesome. So congratulations, everyone. We're going to open up the floor to anyone who would like to share their goal or their action step. And just real brief, like 15 seconds or less, or if you want to share a recent update on your BFit journey or whatever else you've done action-wise. And then if we have time, we'll take a couple questions. So anybody got anything they need to share or like to share?
I'll share something.
Good, thank you.
I've had tremendous energy from BFit. I've, you know, you said 10, like, how do you rate yourself? I kept on writing 10, 10, 10. So I was gonna
Hey,
say 30 and I'm hearing 7. And I saw my friend Virginia say 14 or 13.
oh,
My energy is really through the roof. And I'm pushing myself to go out walking, not just for me, for my dog who's gained weight. Today we walked 2 miles. I came home, I went gardening, and then I came inside, did some work on my computer, and I have done 15,681 steps today. I'm serious. I mean, I have so much energy. Typically this time of night, I'd be in bed sleeping. So I just think this product is going to do even more than what you're sharing. I can see changes in my skin. I just feel so much better, and I'm making better choices on food, eating less and drinking lots of water. And I just want good changes for me and my partner, Lewis, because
yeah,
I feel like
that's fabulous.
we kind of let ourselves go. So
Awesome. It's never too late to change.
we're on a journey.
Thank you. And just remind us how long you've actually been taking it.
So I started taking BFit on July the 10th.
Okay.
Yes, I've lost some weight, and I love it. I don't think I would want to be without it.
Awesome. Perfect. And thank you for sharing it with your at least one friend already.
Yes, she's here.
Awesome. Anyone else want to share? Thank you, Andrea.
Sure, Marcia.
Yes.
I just I stepped on the scale this morning, and originally when I started out, I was at 248.6. I stepped on the scale this morning, and I hadn't seen this number in a long time, but it was 223.8.
Oh,
So that's pretty good, and we've been on it 6-8 weeks now, somewhere right
Yep.
around in there. And I had to go out and buy some new pants. We were working on our shed, and my wife had me hand her something, and I was on the ladder when I did it. And as my arms went up, my pants went down.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was amusing. And she's trying to pull my pants up, and I'm trying to put the drill down and put this down to pull my pants up. So it was amusing, but that's part of it. So
That's awesome. I can see in your face just seeing you tonight on the screen. I've never seen you all in person, but it's like I could see it in your face as soon as you came on the call tonight. So
yeah, thank you.
awesome. All right. Anybody else have any questions or any other testimonial or anything they want to share?
I've only been on it for a week, and I have lost, I'm pretty sure it's like 5 inches, but I had some
Nice.
fluid on board, and then and it's really helped with my appetite.
Okay, good.
So that's great. Yeah.
Perfect. And that was Nancy talking, everyone.
Yes. I'm sorry, my camera's on, but I had to move to my phone.
Okay, no worries. No worries.
Yep.
We understand technological troubles here.
Yes. Ah.
Okay, I don't know where Lisa went, but I don't know if she has anything to add, or is she there?
I'm just soaking it in, man.
Oh, you're
It's-
soaking it. I know, it's so many great things. Does anybody
anybody else want to share? Because I'll certainly wrap it up, but I know there's a lot of people on who've had some really great results. So if anybody wants to share just a 15-second kind of review of your BFit experience.
This is Barbara Durkee, and I'm down 20 pounds.
Barbara
Good job.
Durkee.
June 16th, I started. Now, I have gained a couple here and there, and then I lose them back. So I love the energy. And I've rested all day because I've had a hard physical week, but that I wouldn't have been having that physical week if I wouldn't have had BFit. I wouldn't have gone to Life Surge yesterday at Bud Walton and get up at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. I mean, and be there till 6 o'clock last night, and we didn't get home till 9:30. But it's been that way all week for me for my job too. But loving it. I'm down 20 pounds.
That's
Great.
amazing, Barbara. From a skeptical girl.
Yes, I was very skeptical. Yes.
Thank you for sharing that.
Lisa,
Well, thank y'all.
Lisa,
Judy Baker?
yes. I started in January, New Year's resolution, trying to lose weight, and I lost a lot of weight with just the denying yourself, doing all the awful things you have to do. But even though I'd lost a lot of weight, I still had a big belly and a big rear end. And I something that, well, the back porch and the bay window were still there. But after what I noticed, I've only lost another like 12 pounds since I started the BFit, which that's wonderful. But the fact is, my stomach is flatter and I don't have as big a following. So that's yay.
Even though you're eating chocolate chip cookies tonight.
Well, you got to do what you got to do once in a while. We won't even talk about what Susie did for my birthday, so that's okay.
Wow. Well, I want to call on Jenny Todd, just because I think she has a very, just a very interesting experience for somebody who's really tiny to begin with. Jenny, can you share just really quickly about what you've noticed?
Yes, I can. And I didn't know if anybody would want to hear the same story, but I hear all this weight loss and I've not had weight loss. But the biggest thing that BFit did for me and was totally 100% got rid of my cravings for carbohydrates. And as I have said, and I was a carbohydrate-aholic. I could not walk by any candy bar roll. Whenever we would stop driving, it was always a king size payday. It just was. Cookies, I could have 7 Nutter Butters and that would be supper. There's no lie, y'all. I love sugar. I just grew up on it. My mom was a tremendous baker, but BFit has 100% just taken my desire away for sugar. And that is a tremendous health benefit for me. And that's what I love most about this product. And it also has helped suppress my appetite. I don't eat when I'm full, and what a miserable, I stop eating, I don't get full and miserable. And that's just not a good feeling. You almost, just terrible, but it's a tremendous appetite suppressant for me. And I do not want sugar. That's wonderful. I love it.
Thank you, Jenny.
Uh-huh.
Anybody else want to share before I kind of share Hal and myself, just kind of what we've really noticed with BFit? I mean, Hal's been on it now, since April 19th. So he's one of those clinical study people that, we had no idea what we had our hands on and really didn't think a whole lot about it. Just this little powder that you take a half teaspoon once a day.
Jeff lost 23 pounds and 17.5 inches, and I lost 11 and 18 inches in the 7 weeks. We both started June 11th, but as of last Thursday, that was our results. And I'm already getting hungry, so I think I'm about to lose another pound. I find that the day that I'm really hungry, the next day I seem to lose a pound. So I just keep eating fruit when I'm hungry. But we both noticed our appetite is suppressed. We don't eat as much. And his sweet tooth, mine, I like breads. So carbs and pastas, I like Italian food. So I don't really miss it, truthfully. And tonight, instead of spaghetti noodles, I use spaghetti squash. And it satisfies me, and actually you can have more. I was full. But yeah, it's been easy, really. And I've lost all in the torso, where most women gain it after 50 or 60. I'm 71. So the last 5 years, that's where I've been gaining it, in my back and in my stomach. And I have shorts on right now that if I stand up, they'll fall. And they were pretty tight on me. So I'm going to need a belt with these for the next week or two before I buy some new ones.
That's awesome, Deb. Well, thank you for that.
Oh, sorry.
Anybody else want to share?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
like Jenny, I think my carb cravings are just dramatically less than they were before. And that's helped me lose a few pounds and an inch or so off my stomach. But one thing that I found out this week, and you only go see or I only go see my doctor once a year for that annual physical. So I can't swear on a stack of Bibles that's related to BFit, but it's the only major change I've made in my diet was for eons I've been with high cholesterol, and I refuse to take a statin. So therefore that's an argument that we have every year. And this year he didn't even bring it up, and I couldn't figure out why. And I looked at my numbers. It's because my cholesterol's gone down 39 points. So I went from a 229 to a 190. That's huge.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I'm happy.
And Susan, this is fascinating because, fenugreek, if you look at what it does with fat metabolism and, known to be the LDLs, the bad part of the cholesterol, that it really can have an impact on that. And we know if Linda Painter is still on, that Randall has had a dramatic shift in his cholesterol as well.
Yeah.
So that's so interesting that he didn't call you and ask what you were doing. Not. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Anybody else? One more want to share?
Me, I do. And
Linda,
not for
yes.
me, but I wanted to share, we have family this weekend and we went out to eat at Cracker Barrel, and we usually don't want to go there because Randall just loves their biscuits. But it was amazing because he ate today and he didn't even eat a biscuit. And usually he just cannot say no, but it just took away the desire to eat a biscuit.
And Linda, do you remember exactly what his cholesterol did with?
Yeah, he was 240 and it dropped down to 160.
Which, is very significant.
Yeah, it is, but it was just amazing. That's why his doctor couldn't believe it. She was flabbergasted because he wasn't on any medication. He wasn't on statin or anything. So.
Well, that's awesome. And Marsha, I just want to tell you what a phenomenal job that you did tonight. And Marsha was actually doing this same content for Group Live in Buffalo, New York. And I've never been to Buffalo. She's really done this all on her own. She actually drove to Indiana to see Angie Thompson's several different presentations with the corporate teams. First time she's ever seen a Zilis event. And when she was just kind of going over this and we were going over together, I'm like, Marsha, you are so effective as an educator. I just want you to educate our team. And she just, not just the education, but you guys, whole health is all about identifying what matters to us. And so the opportunity for us to have Marsha gift us with the way she coaches her clients to pick one thing about our well-being that we want to work on over the next 90 days is truly a gift. And Marsha, I actually wrote down that, my goal is health span. It's been my goal. I lost my mom to cancer when she was 54. I was 27 and I had just was like 5 weeks from delivering my first child. And it was a very painful, life-changing event. And I made the decision at that point that I would do anything I could to live better longer than she had. And so for me, living to 55, and now I'm whatever I am, 61, 62 almost. But I'm now, as a 61-year-old, learning how to eat for the first time in my life, thanks to BFit. So health span is my goal. But what I'm really wanting, what I'm doing here in Northwest Arkansas is we are creating a whole health community that literally is committing to movement goals, all the things that we talked about together. And so having that kind of community and accountability is so important because, life can be isolated and lonely without each other to get better and to learn more. And we learn from each other. And I've learned so much from you, Marsha, tonight and, just throughout the years that you've been with Zilis. But you just did a phenomenal job. I love Angie's story of transformation. I love the fact that she made a mindset shift prior to her decision. And that's a really important part of our deciding that we are going to help ourselves improve And because of our own example, then we will bring this to the world. And that's the beauty of the Zilis platform. And so if anybody else wants to share a little micro goal before we close, I'm going to just open the floor for that.
I think that I'm with you. I want to live longer. I want to improve my memory, and be able to keep up with my grandkids. I have kids that are teenagers, and then we're starting over with babies. So I want to be able to get on the floor with them and play with them and keep up with them.
That is so important, Nancy. And that's really, one of the goals of Health Span is to be able to move. If you can't move, then you can't take care of yourself, nor can you take care of the ones you love, or your kids, your grandkids, or anybody like that. So movement is a really, really huge part of this. We're going to talk more about movement. One of these Sundays, next Sunday, is about fuel. And then I'm so excited that Marsha, who is a great mindfulness coach, is going to talk to us about mindfulness in our fueling and just in our life. And then we'll focus on movement as a goal, and we'll have an opportunity for us to not just learn, but to share just what has been some of your programming early in life, maybe some of the programming that you've had to overcome. But we're excited about this, and this is being recorded. And so we hope that you will make the decision to make that goal, set that goal, write it down, and let us help you stay accountable to that goal. And join us again next Sunday.
Hey, Lisa, this is Jenny.
Yes.
I would like to compliment Marsha on what a tremendous job she did tonight.
Oh,
She really
yeah.
set a very high bar and just a great example. The slides are there, everything. She told a great story. She just did a phenomenal job. And I really thank you, Marsha, for that very much.
Thank you.
Yay, Marsha.
Yeah, good job.
Last comments, Marsha, for you, and then we're going to stop the recording, and then we'll be able to answer any questions.
I think the last comment is just there's always time to change, because it's also research has proven that you can become healthy even at age 60. Yeah, you just have to make the right choices. Diabetes is reversible, hypertension's reversible. And yeah, you just have to, it all starts internally in how you talk to yourself and what you want for yourself. And
hey, Marsha, can I throw in one more question for you?
Yeah, sure.
Just in conclusion, I mean, you obviously had your own practice, your consulting practice. You were doing a lot with stress and sleep. Why is Zilis for you?
I just think when I learned about the endocannabinoid system, which they didn't teach us in nursing school, it just made sense. It's like that you can have that deficiency, and you can see all of these diseases, I like to put a hyphen in there, that people are suffering with. But this is one of the most important human parts of our bodies that nobody addresses and nobody really knows anything about. So it just seemed to make sense to add, supplementation with however much, like, talk therapy or whatever you want to call it with people, because sometimes it's easier for people just to swallow something and then they will feel better, and then they are like, the light bulb goes on, and it's like, this is working, and I can do this, and your hope increases and your confidence. And so yeah, and what a great group of people we have. Like, why wouldn't I want to be a part of this?
We love having you as a part, Marsha. Well, thank
Yeah.
you. I'm going to stop the recording, so hold just a moment.